everybody. Welcome back to Modern Monarchy. It's episode 20. I don't even know if I should keep counting episodes anymore because sometimes I use them and sometimes I don't. Um, do you know what we're talking about today?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Did you look ahead at the list of episodes?
No, I enjoy being surprised. I show up
Oh.
and it's like a mystery. It's like this is like a fun advent calendar for me.
Excellent.
Oh, what's today's chocolate?
Today we're talking about this baby. Guess this baby.
Guess.
Guess that baby.
Okay. This woman's mouth looks familiar.
Well, who's the mother? Do you not recognize the mother?
Is this Anne?
The baby or the mom?
The mom?
The mom is not Anne.
Is the baby Anne?
Yeah.
I was like, the mouth looks familiar because it looks like Elizabeth's mouth. That's why I'm getting that.
That's Queen Elizabeth, or Princess Elizabeth at the time.
There was that much separation in age?
What do you mean?
Wait. Backing up.
Yes?
Didn't you just
beep,
say beep. Never mind. So this is Elizabeth's mother and Anne. Or
no,
this is Elizabeth and Anne.
Elizabeth and Anne.
So what I'm saying is I guess I didn't realize how much age difference there is between the two of them.
Between Anne and her mom? What?
I'm thinking of Elizabeth's sister.
Margaret.
What
about Margaret?
My brain was thinking.
Oh, you thought Anne was Margaret. You were seeing Margaret and thinking Anne.
Yes.
Gotcha.
That's what happened here. So, Cassie's dumb. Back it up. I can tell they're related.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
August 15th, 1950 at 11:50 in the morning, just around lunchtime, because Anne is practical. She was born in Clarence House to the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, also known as Prince Philip and Princess Elizabeth. She was 6 pounds, or 2.7 kilograms, at birth. Clarence House, if you don't know exactly where it is like a 4-minute drive or a 15-minute walk from Buckingham Palace. It is also currently where Charles and Camilla tend to live when they're in London. But at the time, Philip and Elizabeth were living there. That was their family home because her dad was still king in the palace. So remember, I don't know if you remember, but Charles was born by emergency C-section, and that did not need to happen this time. And I can only imagine being in a room in a castle or a palace with a very skilled surgeon. But like you're not in a hospital and all of a sudden you have to have a emergency C-section in 1948. I would be concerned.
100%, but at the same time, I'm sure in the moment you're like, well, this is what we're doing.
Exactly. So Anne was born, they called it natural birth, but Elizabeth was still doing the whole twilight sleep thing where they drug you up real good and you don't really remember what's going on and they kind of have to pull the baby out of you because you're not mentally engaged with the situation.
Love that.
The BBC said at the time that the Duke of Edinburgh toasted the new princess's health in champagne with his staff. He then telephoned Balmoral Castle, where the king was shooting on the moors, and a special messenger was dispatched to find him and give him the good news. So, don't
I
worry
love
about
how it's
Philip.
like, I love that there are special messengers where it's like, well, there's certain news that like it's you we'll just take a message and tell him when he comes back. But there's
It
other
kind
news where
of
we will send a dude running into the fields.
sounds like they have like specific messengers for each thing. Like, you're the baby guy, you're the funeral guy, you're the coronation guy. You're not going to be doing a lot. August 29th, 14 days later, or a fortnight, if you will, her name is officially announced as Anne Elizabeth Alice Louise. How fun.
How cute.
According to the BBC, the Westminster Registrar went to Clarence House to complete the birth certificate. After the Duke had signed the document, he was given his daughter's identity card, a ration book, and bottles of cod liver oil and orange juice. Because that's how you
For
start a
why?
baby.
Screw formula.
This is your
Here's
baby
your
kit.
fish oil and vitamin C.
In October, she is christened in the music room of Buckingham Palace, just like Charles was. Okay, so this is a little video in the background of the photo shoot from the christening.
Look at the hats.
Look at the hat. Look at Queen Mary. It's so wild to see Queen Mary in a video because she, to me, is ancient.
I mean,
So, in this first scene, we've got, the queen. Well, not the queen. Well, we do have the queen. Her mom, Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mother. We've got Princess Elizabeth, Prince Philip. Who was on the other side of the room? Go back. Go back. Go back. There's a dog. Why are we looking over here? Oh, yeah, Queen Mary. And then we're going to switch over to the other one. These are the godparents, more or less.
okay.
Up at the top left, there's Uncle Louis, our favorite uncle. The one that kind of led Charles astray.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. So it's Philip's actual uncle, but
Got it.
yeah. So Louis Mountbatten is one of her 5 godparents. Louis Mountbatten, the Queen Mother, was another one. Princess Margarita of Greece and Denmark, which is on Philip's side. And the Honorable Andrew Elphinstone,
Hmm.
first cousin of Elizabeth, the son of Mary Bowes Lyon, which would be on Elizabeth's mother's side. What I was going to say when I said these are the godparents more or less is because right here, over here on it's Elizabeth's right and our left, that is one of the Princess Alice's.
Okay.
But that's not her godmother. She's taking up the spot for Princess Alice, like Philip's mom, who is the actual godmother. And I just thought that was interesting because these two Alices. Okay, I did a big old research project that I was going to put online years ago on Princess Alice, Philip's mom, because I think she's fascinating. But I got way too in the weeds. I got too many details. The project became way too big. I know that is just inconceivable for me. But the project got too big and then I just quit. Anyways, what I learned though is that these two Princess Alices were around the same age, and for all the big family events, if one Alice couldn't go, the other one would just like take her place. Like they
Stand
would
in
swap
for
them
her.
out. Yes.
So it's like the oh my gosh, the Lindsay Lohan movie, Parent Trap. It's like Parent Trap,
Parent Trap. It's
but everybody knows that they don't look alike. They're not twins, and it's just like, can we have that one today?
I think as kids they looked kind of similar and they are about the same age and they're both named Alice. So whatever, throw one in there.
They're interchangeable.
Oh,
Woo.
there's Princess Alice.
She looks raggedy.
Well, she's been through a lot. Like World War II.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
I
and
hear
World
that
War
was
One,
bad.
where she used to be a princess in Greece, and there's so much upheaval in Greece. They can't decide whether or not they want a monarchy, so occasionally they are exiled, and then sometimes they come back. So
That's
she's been
strange.
exiled. She's also experienced. She was like nursing on battlefields. She's
Oh my god.
she's been through a lot.
Okay.
Love her. Someday we'll do an episode on her, and it'll be like 5 hours long. 1952, her mother becomes the queen. And Anne, at this moment, is second in line to the throne at 2 years old.
Woo.
1953 is when the actual coronation is, and you can see Anne on the balcony here, but she didn't go to the actual coronation ceremony because it was like 4 hours long and she was 2.
I
I
was
mean,
gonna say, I'm
Charles
like,
was 4, but he still had to be there.
I'm sure they expected him to have a little more decorum at that age than a 2-year-old.
Yes. Oh, I knew this picture was coming next.
Oh,
I love this
cute.
picture. She is cackling next to Charles, who's being stoic. It's just
Makes
when I
sense.
see this picture, I hear the I hear Yzma as a kitten in The Emperor's New Groove. Just being like,
That's fabulous.
1957
I can see it. It's a cute picture.
in 1957 to 1969, Anne was educated privately at a Buckingham Palace. You remember, Charles went to school, and Anne, at the beginning of her education, was just learning at Buckingham Palace with her governess, Catherine Peebles. And
Catherine Peebles.
this lovely lady oversaw the early education of all 4 kids. It seems like Anne was a pretty mild-mannered child growing up, and I don't know if she had a different experience with her parents than Charles did, but I noticed that when Charles goes through a rough time and somebody asks him in the press about it, like Gordonston, he'll find a positive spin to put on it. And I feel like Anne, I don't know how to say this. It's like I feel like the distance between the children and their parents because their mom just became queen and she's going on like trips abroad and they don't see her for like months at a time. I think that may have emotionally hurt Charles than it did Anne.
Got it.
So Anne says recently, I simply don't believe that there is any evidence whatsoever to suggest that my mother wasn't caring. It just beggars belief. Like, I can't even imagine why you would say that. Charles's biographer, Anthony Holden, stated, it's often been said, and is probably true, that Princess Anne was Prince Philip's, quote, favorite son, his only daughter, because in Philip's eyes, she showed a lot more strength of character than any of his sons. I love Anne and Philip's relationship as father-daughter. They're adorable. 1959 to 1963, she joined the Brownies from the Girl Guides.
Love it.
She had Their group was called the First Buckingham Palace Guide Company, which was previously active in 1937 for Elizabeth and Margaret, her mother and aunt, in case anybody's confused. Um,
Definitely not me. I've never once been
and it,
confused about them.
because she was being schooled in the palace, they thought this was a great way to have some socialization with girls her age. Another thing to note about Anne is she's a big time horse girl. Big time.
Love it. Love her.
Well, that does happen a lot in this family. I suppose it's a lot easier to be a horse girl when you have so much money that having a horse is like having a pet, just like a dog.
And also, I think once you like when you know somebody who's in it, like
Oh,
so
yeah.
by default, her mom was a big horse girl. So like
And so was her dad.
exactly
It was it was in the
part of the
mud.
family.
1960, the then Prince Andrew was born. Pudgy little baby. 1963 to 1968, she's going to go to Benenden School in Kent, which is about 2 hours southeast of London. It's based in a Victorian country house set on 250 acres of beautiful gardens and woodland. And
Awful.
said I was,
Sounds terrible.
it sounds terrible. And said I was ready to go to school. I had a governess and two friends, and that was never going to be enough. So I was only too pleased to be sent off somewhere else. I think boarding school has been demonized by some, when in fact it's a very important aspect to have available, and many children actually thrive in it. That's interesting because I clearly from other episodes have mentioned that I don't like the idea of boarding school because it tends to separate you from your family and then you don't know how to relate to your family in the future, whether it's your parents or you don't know how to like be a parent because you weren't around your parent.
This makes so much sense though why Philip really loved her.
Oh yeah, because she's not a problem. She just does the thing.
And acts
Um,
like she's happy about it.
yeah, because
Or
she
is.
was.
She might actually be.
She was. I think when your mom is away from, well, like, both parents are away for months at a time when you're a tiny child, going to boarding school isn't that different.
Yeah, that's true. For her it was probably very normal in a way.
But again, I agree. I agree with her that some children like it, but how you decide which child is going to thrive in boarding school and who is not, how do you figure that out before you send
Right.
them?
Totally.
She doesn't go on to college after she graduates from this school because she has a job lined up. So she's like, I just went into the family business. 1965, Prince Edward is born, and this is the most 1960s collection of pictures I've seen in a while.
Agreed.
I know everything in this picture is probably expensive and the finest, but some of it looks kind of chintzy.
Oh, 100%. This bottom right get
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and the like silks behind her.
Everything's shiny.
Awful.
Love it. 1968, she will meet Mark Phillips at a house party. Okay, in multiple articles. Every time, because when you're talking about royal stuff, there are a lot of things, like a lot of phrases people say over and over again to the point that we're not even sure if they're true anymore. You just people say it like um
Are you trying to say house party is one of those?
house party is because they said in every article it's the same group of words. She met him at a house party of horse lovers, which sounds wrong.
That sounds very wrong.
I changed it in my notes to meets Mark Phillips at a house party of horse girls.
Equestrian social event.
Yes. When she meets him, he is lieutenant or lieutenant, as we say, in the First Queen's Dragoon Guard, man in uniform. 1969 is her first official royal engagement,
As
opening
Cruella
and
DeVille?
well, that's not from this one. It's from
Okay.
1969, but I couldn't find any images of the first one.
Okay.
She was opening an educational and training center in Shropshire. 1970, I believe, is when Queen Elizabeth started doing walkabouts. And I think in our media episode, we had a little quote from Anne, a little video clip where she was talking about how she's like really not into walkabouts because she's like, I don't want to shake that many hands. You don't really get much out of it because you can't really talk to people. But, I do it. The Birmingham Post reported that she was a most modern miss, taking to the wheel of an Albion Viking bus, which I think was a double-decker bus, and laughing that it was easier to handle than a Balmoral Land Rover. 1970, she does, even though she's already met Mark Phillips, she's still in this like stage where everybody's kind of dating everybody in the peerage. So she briefly dates Andrew Parker Bowles before he goes back to Camilla and they get married.
Weird.
It's also the first time she goes to an engagement for Save the Children. And she's been serving as a patron of Save the Children UK since 1970. It's one of her most well known charities that she works with. She's done so much work with Save the Children that all the way back in 1990, it had inspired President Kaunda of Zambia to nominate her for the Nobel Peace Prize. People that earn it. Weird.
No.
1971, she becomes a European eventing champion.
Ooh.
She also becomes patron of the Riding for the Disabled Association. 1985, she'll become president of the Riding for the Disabled Association, and she still is.
Hell yeah, Princess Anne, love you.
Yeah. Then we get engaged to Captain Mark Phillips. I
This
love these
side
pictures.
view. First of all, I do too. They're very like ethereal.
They're very 1970s fairy tale.
Okay, a couple things that are going on here in this photo on the left for me, though, specifically. First of all, the spurs. The ridiculous, silly spurs on this man as the horse girl.
Uh-huh.
The fuck is that? Okay, next.
He's a dragoon.
Okay. Next up, this side view. Does he not look like Seth Meyers a little bit?
Yeah.
In this specific side, like a hair in the right photo, but the left photo specifically.
Yeah.
I was like,
his smile in the left with that long dimple.
Yeah.
That looks like Seth's dimple.
And like the nose, like the facial shape. Anyways, these are gorgeous photos. Other than that man's silly spurs.
There are so many gorgeous photos of Anne that if I could just do a slideshow of like 1970s Anne. Just 1970s Anne. Ugh. They're great.
That was her best era.
I think so. She had like all these like wispy fairy tale looks, and then sometimes she'd be more like androgynous and like dressed to go do stuff. She was all over the place, and I loved it. She rocked
Wow.
every single look.
Love her.
November 14th, 1973, she's going to marry Captain Mark Phillips. Shocker.
I didn't see that coming.
um, Look how happy he is. Look at Prince Philip walking her down the aisle.
He is pretty happy. It's his favorite
She
son.
got his favorite son. um,
She looks like Leia in this first photo.
she is. She's actually Leia. It was at Westminster Abbey. The Queen offered them, I think, an earldom, but they refused to have titles. So their children are not part of the peerage. Their children have no titles.
Interesting.
Well, I think she figured her brother's going to be king, and then he's going to have kids, and then that person's going to have kids, and then you're way down the line, so why bother
Fair.
with the titles when you could just try to make it as a semi-normal person?
Also, before we leave this picture, can we talk about, let's see. First of all, we've got Zsa Zsa Gabor to the left. So we've got Anne, the queen. Is the queen mother?
Yep.
And then this lady in full on sparkle and fur.
In front of the Queen Mother,
Yes.
that's Margaret.
Is it really?
That's Margaret. That's
I love that.
1973 Margaret.
I fucking love that. Okay, first of all,
Standing next to her husband that she did not have a great time with.
who's like not even paying attention and being. It looks like he is
Well,
giggling with the dude next to him.
that's because there's a few pictures of this group together where like a child is running across the frame and just everybody is completely discombobulated.
I
So I
love
feel
that.
like that's a remnant of the chaos that was happening.
That's so human, and I love it. Okay,
I
next
know,
lady,
right?
I want to chat about here. So we've got Anne's husband. We've got Lady in Blue with her like nightcap looking hat.
Yeah.
But then there's a dude, and then the sparkly cowboy hat lady next to him, behind him.
Sparkly cowboy hat. Which way are we looking? Oh, to the right?
Yes.
With the pearls?
Yes. But also disco cowboy. That hat just
right
looks wild.
Behind Mark Phillips.
Yep.
I think that's Princess Michael of Kent. And she's clearly been positioned right behind him and has to like, hey, I'm here.
Anyways, okay. Sorry. Those are my couple notes for this photo of things that stood out to me.
Right after the wedding, they have obviously a couple places to live because royal. They had Oak Grove House at Sandhurst because he was working in the military. And she also has, she's always had an apartment at St. James's Place, at St. James's Palace. I'm sure she probably got that when she was like 18 or something. Nobody really knows exactly when she got it, but I believe it's still her place of residence in London, which is also like it's in the same block as Clarence House. It's also like a 5-minute drive from Buckingham Palace.
Got it.
1974 in March. This is where she is. She survives a kidnapping attempt in London. I think they were going down the Mall, going like it was either to or from Buckingham Palace. So I'm gonna play a little bit of a clip of her talking about how the situation went down. She does have a very old school posh accent, so if you're listening and you can't hear what she's saying, I apologize, but I can't make her talk any clearer. But if you're watching, there will be subtitles.
And we had a sort of discussion about where or where not we were going to go.
What did he say?
Well, he said I had to go with him. Can't remember why. I said I didn't think I wanted to go. Thank you very much.
I don't think I want to go.
Scrupulously polite, because I thought it was silly to be too rude at that stage again. And we had a fairly low-key discussion about the fact that I wasn't going to go anywhere. And wouldn't it be much better if you just went away and we'd all forget about it?
She's so nonchalant about it. She's like, yeah, I kind of told him.
I believe
bad idea.
I believe she talked just like that to him too. Like, what is your problem? What is your goal here? Okay, well, I'm not going anywhere, so come up with something else. And
Good
this
luck with
is
that.
after he'd already shot like 3 guys because her security and the police showed up, and there were like 6 or 7 guys that were trying to stop them. And he shot like 3 people, almost killed one, and then he went to get her, and she's just like, no, sorry. I don't mean to be rude.
But I'm not feeling it.
I don't want to go with you. I'm busy right now. I don't know if you know we're going somewhere. I don't have time. So, after all this happens, according to a website called Royal Central, obviously the place you want to go for anything royal, the Royalty Protection Group, known as SO14, was expanded, professionalized, and militarized in its tactics, which, well, you weren't professional before?
Right?
That's concerning. 4 things that they updated. They do close quarters firearms training for all royal bodyguards. How is that not a thing already?
I was going to say, I'm like, okay.
Team-based protection models, replacing single officer assignments. Why were we doing that? Number 3, vehicle protocol overhauls, including route security, backup cars, and emergency evasive training. Why aren't we doing this already?
Because they
Number
were old.
4, improved intelligence coordination between police, MI5, and the royal household. Why are we not coordinating these things?
It was a long time ago.
Basically, they decided to actually have security after this.
Yeah, that's
Insane.
what it sounds like.
1975, she gets 2 silver medals at the European Eventing Championships.
Good for her.
1976, she competes in the Montreal Olympics, becoming the first British royal to compete in the Olympics. And actually, both she and Mark Phillips were in the Olympics because he was in the Olympics in 1972 and 1988.
Was he riding?
Yes, he's also a horse guy. She did suffer a concussion halfway through the cross-country course, but remounted and completed the event. And she later stated she has no memory of making the remaining jumps in the event.
Nice. Also, I love when they brought news, the queen said nothing at all.
Yeah, That sounds about right. 1976 also is when Queen Elizabeth purchased Gatcombe Park in Gloucestershire for Anne and her new hubby. And then it went through some minor renovations, and in November 1977, they moved in. And it is 6 miles away from Highgrove, which is Charles's country house. And then 10 days before they moved in, she gave birth to Peter Phillips. I enjoy the picture on the right. I don't know what sassy face she's making,
But it's fabulous.
but I also the sassy face on the right, I like that. The left picture, she's leaving the hospital and a nurse has her baby like back there on top of the steps. Like, don't worry, I got the baby.
Also, I like the woman who's just holding like Paddington Bear, and she looks thrilled about it.
She's like, don't forget Paddington.
But Paddington is even ahead of the baby in line towards the mother.
Well, he doesn't have a title, okay? Nobody cares. He's just
okay.
Master Peter Phillips because he's under 12, so that makes him a master. Remember that?
I do.
1978, a year later, she has Zara Phillips. And she walked out with that baby.
No Paddington Bear for you.
1987, these are not pictures from the event I'm about to say because there are no pictures. She is invested as Princess Royal by Queen Elizabeth. It is a title traditionally given to the monarch's eldest daughter, and although it is purely honorary, it is the highest honor that may be given to a female member of the royal family. I like
Better
it.
than nothing.
1989. Love letters to the princess were stolen and sent to the Sun newspaper. And later, the palace identified they were written by Timothy Lawrence.
Lawrence first entered the royal family's inner circle in 1986 when he became an equerry, a personal assistant for the Queen. Those close to Lawrence told People that he and Anne developed an affection for one another right away. Tim never stopped thinking about Princess Anne from soon after their first meeting. Anne has treated him as her closest confidant for some considerable time, a source told People in 1989. Obviously, Tim and the princess were physically attracted to each other, but their friendship goes deeper than that. Tim has filled a loneliness in her life and given her a shoulder to cry on when she needed somebody to tell her troubles to. He understands her tantrums and the bad publicity she attracts, but most of all, he cares for her in a way her husband does not. A quote-unquote security insider told a tabloid in April of 1989 of the letter's contents. The contents are not raunchy and do not suggest any intimacy, but they are written in affectionate terms, a source said. If Captain Phillips wanted to know why they were written, the princess would have some answering to do.
I do want to point out that they mention he understands her tantrums and the bad publicity she attracts. I don't know about tantrums, but she did get bad publicity as like a younger woman because she was not super serious all the time, but she wasn't just like what people wanted young women to be like in the 60s and 70s, which is just like a ditz, I guess. 1989, shocker of all shockers, she separates from Captain Mark Phillips. For years, they had been leading separate lives, and in recent years had only made perfunctory attempts to deny an extramarital romance or two, because they were both having affairs.
They were both married.
They're both like, I'm so done with this. His main work was running a riding school in Scotland, and Anne only visited him once. He had semi-public affairs with a British television anchorwoman, a Canadian public relations executive. And an Indian call girl, Pamela Boards. I missed that when I put that in there. At the same time, Anne was linked romantically with an actor named Anthony Andrews, her bodyguard, which who knows if that one's even true. They said that about Diana all the time. And most recently, an equerry to the Queen, Commander Timothy Lawrence. And so after they separated, they decided to live separately in two houses that are 2 miles apart. And they're both still on Gatcombe Park estate. So, like, she lives in Gatcombe, the main building, and he moved into Aston Park, which is on the
Wait.
other side of the property.
Her ex-husband or her
Yeah.
or Lawrence?
Well, he's still her husband. They're just
Okay.
separated.
Got it.
So yeah, he moves into Aston Park on the other side of the estate, and the kids live with her, but he sees them all the time.
Got it.
So it's like, we're not together, but we are married, and you still live down the road from me. He will live in Aston Park until 2013.
Oh,
Yeah,
a
even
kept
gets
man.
married and everything.
Oh.
And yeah. So he stays until 2013, and he only leaves because Zara and her husband Mike moved into it. So Anne's like entire family is on the same estate.
Okay.
Because Peter and his ex-wife Autumn, they are now separated, but they both have houses at Gatcombe Park.
Okay. Messy.
Well, that's Aston Park, by the way. It has a pool.
I see that. It looks like it needs to be cleaned.
I mean, they all do. Every time I show you a British pool at a country house,
They're disgusting.
you're like, it's not clean. Oh, and the fun fact about this whole situation where the entire family lives on the same estate, there is in between the buildings a party barn with like event space and lounges and places to hang out.
Interesting.
I think it's a great idea. We all live separately. We're close enough that if you need something, I'm there. And then we have a party barn whenever we want it.
And it's kind of nice because it's like then you don't have to go to somebody's house and like you could set it up separately.
Mm-hmm. In 1991, this woman, Heather Tonkin, is an art teacher from New Zealand. She told the Daily Express that the former Army officer, Mark Phillips, fathered her daughter, Felicity, 5 years before, like 1986.
Cool.
Mark initially denied the claim, but it was soon revealed that he had been making payments about £6,000 per year to Miss Tonkin under the guise of hiring her as a, quote, equestrian consultant. But he was paying...
Not a lot of money for child support, basically.
Yeah.
Cute.
I guess there was a DNA test, and it is definitely his kid. So in 1991, they got divorced because
No
even though
way.
we're separated, but clearly we've been separated for a while because you have other kids. This is the first royal divorce since Princess Margaret. And then the following year, Charles and Diana are going to separate, and Fergie and Andrew will separate. So just like everybody got divorced.
Wasn't that the most horrible year?
Yes, but at the end of the most horrible year, in December of 1992, she marries Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence. I call him Sir Tim because I like it.
Okay.
Again, her dad's adorable and drove her to the church.
So cute.
She got married at Crathy Kirk, which is the church near Balmoral Castle that the family goes to regularly. There were only 30 guests, and this one was not televised like her first one. And I guess she got married in Scotland. One, because, they like Balmoral. It's a family home and they go to this church all the time, so it's really important to her. But also, the Church of Scotland did not regard marriage as a binding sacrament and therefore permitted the remarriage of divorced persons under certain circumstances.
Mm,
So she didn't have to worry about the Church of England
got it.
that her mother is the head of. In 2002, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, and Princess Margaret pass away. And Anne is in the funeral processions in military uniform with her military medals and everything. Even though she's not been in the military, she does have military roles that have been placed upon her. And traditionally, for a royal funeral procession, it's just the men that do it. So this is different. This is new.
Got it. This is a big deal.
Philip's favorite son is out there. Also in 2002, she's the first senior member of the royal family to be convicted of a criminal offense. She pleaded guilty to a charge under the Dangerous Dogs Act after her English Bull Terrier Dottie became dangerously out of control and bit 2 children in Windsor Great Park. She was fined £500 for the attack and ordered to pay £250 in compensation, as well as $148 in costs for the magistrates' court in Slough. Her 3-year-old terrier narrowly avoided a sentence of being put down, though the royal was ordered by Judge Penelope Hewitt to undergo training and be kept on a lead in all public places.
Leash your dogs, people.
And it's not the only time that that's happened. It's happened a couple of other times. I think one of her dogs, if I remember, attacked one of the queen's corgis, and the corgi had to be put down. So, that's not great.
Anne, get a hold of your dogs, woman.
Well, in 2012, she, along with most of the royal family, showed up at the Olympics because it was in London. And guess what? Zara was in the Olympics, her daughter. It's just a family thing now. In 2021, she escorts Prince Philip's coffin at his funeral, and again is the only woman in the procession. And then at this point, I just wanted to throw in one more picture of Anne and her dad because I love them.
They are cute. I don't feel like he smiles nearly as much, except in the photos that you've shown of these two.
I feel like the two of them look at each other and think the rest of this family is nuts. So like, you get it. But we love them, I guess. In July 2022, Mark Phillips, her ex-husband, who's been remarried, his daughter to his new marriage, she gets married, and everybody shows up. Anne's there, Tim's there, Zara and Peter are there. This is a big old family. Like, they don't care about divorce. We're all chill. I'm surprised that the other daughter doesn't live at Gatcombe Estate. 2022, unfortunately, is also when Queen Elizabeth dies, and not only is she in the procession with the boys, but she had a really important role because Charles instantly becomes king. And the next day after she dies, he is hitting the pavement because he has to bounce around for like the next 10 days between London and London and Edinburgh and Northern Ireland and Wales. He's just like pinging back and forth through all these places. And Anne, who was there with the Queen when she passed, just like stayed with her. And so she gets in a car behind the Queen's hearse and they go from Balmoral to Edinburgh, where there's a funeral service in Scotland. And she stays with her mom's body another night, and then she stays with her mom's body as it flies back to London. And she just followed her like the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sad and it was sweet. But then the next year, her brother is coronated as king. And not only does she wear her feathered cap, which conveniently hid Harry's face, but in the procession, she has a specific role of gold stick in waiting. So there's 2 officers that are gold stick in waiting. They are placed close to the sovereign's person to protect him or her from danger. And the 2 officers are the colonel of the lifeguards and the colonel of the Blues and Royals. And she has been the colonel of the Blues and Royals since 1998, I think. I mean, technically, it is a ceremonial position. She's not actually a security guard.
Fair.
And then not last year, it's 2026 now. In 2024, on July 24th, yeah, she was found wandering around a field. Apparently, she'd had a concussion and had no idea what happened. She had ended up in the hospital for 5 nights, and her medical team described her injuries as being consistent with the type of impact from a horse's leg or head. And she said, I know where I thought I was going, and that was to go to the chickens. Nothing to do with horses. Seeing that the chickens was my regular visit, I don't have any idea what I was doing in the field because I never go that way. And it just reminds you that you never quite know when something might happen and you might not recover. Ever since then, we've all been worried about her because she's just getting concussions and we don't know why.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we've been concussed multiple times.
It's fine. Fun fact about Anne is that she loves lighthouses. She apparently
Okay.
she's a phorologist is what it's called. And she has a goal to visit all 200 plus Scottish lighthouses.
Okay.
She freaking loves a lighthouse.
Shocked she hasn't done that already.
What? Oh, finished it?
Yeah.
I guess she's a couple years ago, I guess she got more than halfway. So she's still got quite a few to go. I don't know how long she's been doing this, but
Okay, that makes sense. Maybe she started later in life.
I know I read that she started liking lighthouses as a kid, but I don't know how long she's been like, okay, I have a specific goal to see all
Got
the
it.
Scottish ones. And at this point, over the years of collecting rolls and charities, she is involved with over 300 charities, organizations, and military regiments in the UK and overseas. Most of
Damn,
these are
girl.
primarily the charities are dealing in sport, science, disability, and health in developing countries. Those are kind of her subjects that she likes to stick to. I feel like this is going to be the last generation that has hundreds of roles, because it seems that William and Catherine are going more of we have a handful of like big things we're going to work on. And then in the little pockets of our schedule, we go to like the opening of a pool or something.
Right.
Yeah, she is always known as the hardest working royal. She frequently does multiple events in a day. So she will have like 700 events in a year.
Damn.
Yeah. She likes being busy.
Clearly.
Which is why
Princess Anne, sister of King Charles and one of the busiest of the working royals, has no plans to retire. I don't think there is a retirement program on this particular life, she said. It really isn't written in, no. It isn't really an option. No, I don't think so. The princess said of any plans to cut back on her working life. She's going to go till she dies.
I mean, Prince
Or
Philip.
is severely concussed enough to be told to stop.
Yeah, I think Prince Philip retired from his military positions and charities and whatnot, and stopped really going to engagements when he was 96. So she's probably using that as a model.
Considering how close they are, it makes sense.
Yeah, like I'll get to 96 and then I'll go to some things. Yeah. And then just threw in a nice 1970s picture at the end.
I was going to
Because
say, I'm like,
Anne is so cool.
I'm like, this is definitely a 70s photo.
Yeah. So,
Yay, Anne.
anything surprise you about Anne?
I don't know about surprising, but we do love a horse girl.
I do love a horse girl. I think you were surprised about the dog thing.
I was shocked that her dogs were so poorly
Vicious.
trained. Poorly kept, poorly trained.
Yeah, I don't know if that's because, like, she lives on vast stretches of land and there isn't usually anybody else around, so why would she leash her dog?
But also your dog shouldn't be attacking other dogs.
Especially the Queen's Corgis.
Yeah, especially the Queen's Corgis.
Yeah.
But no, I like her. I'm good with Anne.
All right. I like her too. I think she's really cool.
She's got good vibes.
She also,
for a royal.
You know how, I don't know if you noticed, the royals rewear their clothes rather frequently as a way to like show people that they're not just superfluously spending all the money that they get from the tax dollars.
Notice that,
be like,
yes.
I bought this really nice coat in 1975 and now it's 2025 and I'm still wearing it because it was a good quality coat.
They don't make shit like they used to.
Yeah, Anne is a big time rewear. She literally wears clothes that she wore in the 70s. And I don't know how, I don't imagine when I'm in my 70s that I'm going to fit or look good in the same things I wore when I was 20.
I mean, good for her, though.
Crazy. So, is there anything we missed on Anne? Let us know in the comments. If you let us know how you feel about her. Is she your favorite royal? Do you for some reason not like her? Like, are you wrong?
Are you stupid?
Just let us know in the comments below what you think, and we're gonna leave. Make sure if you like this video, you give it a like, you share the video, subscribe, follow, do all the things. And we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and to the service of our great imperial family to which we all belong.
As the Queen herself did with such unswerving devotion, I too now solemnly pledge myself, throughout the remaining time God grants me, to uphold the constitutional principles at the heart of our nation.
I commit myself to serve you all, King, country, and Commonwealth. God save the King.